My 11th great-grandfather, Richard Curtis, was born in Suffolk, England in 1594, became a mariner, uh, licensed to fish and with a ship and transport immigrants. Somehow he made it to the New World and died in Salem, Massachusetts in 1626. His family lived mostly in Connecticut, where Enos Curtis was born, and the rest of the story, there are a lot of details with the Curtis family, uh, as there are with the Giffords. The third family that we talk about is the Durfee family. Edmund Durfee and Lana Pickle Durfee. They were baptized by Simeon Carter and Solomon Hancock in the Kirtland area, where they had moved uh, after having lived. Actually, Edmund was born in Rhode Island, Triverton, Newport area, and then moved to Montgomery County, I think, somewhere in New York, and the one closer to Albany, and then went on further over to, I believe it was Madison County, near Syracuse. They had a family. Edmund was halfway between the age of Alpheus, 5 years older than Alpheus and 5 years younger than Enos Curtis. But they were established as a family. They were in their early 30s with a bunch of kids living in the general area around Kirtland when they were taught the gospel and were baptized. I think in May 1831. We have dates and details on the Durfees that we don't have on the Giffords and the Curtises in terms of the actual baptismal dates. But this would have been not quite a year before the baptisms of Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball, which are better documented. So it's kind of a guess on when Alpheus and Enos were actually baptized. I put them first, but they may not have been. It's hard to know until we get the actual dates. But the Durfees, Edmund helped place cornerstones on the Kirtland Temple. He was comfortable. They were established there, or getting there. I think he was he a miller? He had his trades. He was productive and successful. They went through all the grief. They ended up leaving Kirtland. They were more established there. They weren't the new people coming into the Kirtland area like so many saints, impoverished. They were actually established or getting established in their own right before they even joined the church in Kirtland. They ended up going to Missouri. I think they went to outside of far west, what was it, Log Creek, about the time the Saints were getting kicked out. I mean, they barely got there. I don't think they were there very long when everybody was driven out of Missouri. And along with the Curtises and the Giffords, the Durfees were part of the Yell Rome, the Morley settlement, Lima, in Illinois, once they crossed the river again. They got established there and had farms. They all knew each other. A couple of the Durfee boys married Curtis girls. I came from one of those. There was quite a bit of intermarrying there in that area where the boys in one family would meet the girls in another family. They ended up getting all wrapped up with the terrible persecutions. The Durfees' home was burned down. They were among those saints that were basically forced to go into Nauvoo to avoid more harassment. But at one point, when they were trying to get their crops in, they were going back out into the fields and trying to, prepare for wintertime and all that sort of thing. And I think they were near or at Solomon Hancock's farm. They might have spent the night there in the farmhouse. I have to look at the details. It's all written down. There's a lot of wonderful written material that could be studied on the Durfees, as much more detail on all these families. But you got to read to get that. But apparently, some mobbers ganged up on him. They set fire on the haystack in Solomon Hancock's barnyard, and the fire woke everybody up, and they went out and checked on things. And their different accounts have a little bit of different detail, but the mobbers shot from the trees or wherever they were hiding, and one of the balls hit Edmund above the heart and killed him. So he became a martyr